Yo, 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 what's going on, great people? Wanted to hit you up super early in the morning before I go to bed just to let you know what I am thinking about for this morning and later today as it relates to SPY after this pretty significant rundown move today. So yeah, we're back once again for another session, sharing info for you to comprehend, and before you know it, you'll start to ascend. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit up the Cash App if you feel so inclined. Money sign MineDialogue. Email is MineDialogue.business@gmail.com. So I set my levels up on currently on, I'm on the 1 hour right now. Come on, computer, don't go slow on me. So I'm on the 1 hour time frame right now, and I was able to do some key measurements and detect the 2 level. And what's interesting about this is this 50% and 38% entry. I did 2 different measurements, and the 50% and the 38% showed up at the same place. That is key for me. And just because it is, I don't feel like that's just a coincidence. I think that those levels showing up at the same place are intentional. And so just to show you real quick what I did, I'm going to take off the fib for a moment. And so the way in which I was able to find the level 2 down here is I measured in a way to see what I measured from bottom going to top so that I can see what the levels on the bottom essentially retracing in the opposite direction look like. So I essentially took a fib from right here and then brought it up here to the high, and then the 2 levels settled right down here. Move this up just slightly. Pretty gonna come slow. So yeah, I started from 1 here, and then I took it to 2 right here, and then the levels retraced in the opposite direction. We have the discount level right here at 631.5. Now that's a little bit different than the discount level, the number 1 discount level I have here. This would be considered the number 2 discount level, but I stopped putting the number 2 discount levels just because it just created too much things on the chart, and I wanted to keep it clean as possible. So I'm just focusing on this number 1 discount level because I know if they come here, there's a high probability they're going to tap it for a reversal or something of significance is going to happen there. I really wanted to come to this 2 level before we even get into depth of any type of analysis in terms of looking at channels, trend lines, and all that stuff. What I would love to happen is the entry model that I talk to you all about all the time, which is a close below this 2 level. The lows that it creates once it closes below get swept. So it goes lower and breaches the closing low that it made prior, and then we reverse to go up. So, and this 2 level, what's interesting is it comes off of the context of this essentially almost like a manipulation move before it pops up and makes this run up here, right? It like created this W-like pattern where and did something like this, right? So it creates the head and shoulders for us to um, go up essentially, and that's what it did. You got your head right here, right? And I don't draw these head and shoulders like perfectly to the T, but you get the picture. Got your head here, shoulder here, right? These shoulders were relatively equal. It's relatively equal. So we'll talk about how to get around that for the future. But nonetheless, it creates this mechanism of a move right here. And then once it, so it goes above the 2 level from in the past, right? We didn't know this was the 2 level until we just did it now. But, it can also be found if we were to go in the past and measure out for the future. So I just showed you how to find the 2 level that shows us the context of the past, but it also shows us where we can be going for the future, right? Because let's see here. Now, before I even do that, again, you got this. So where I started the measurement actually serves as the 50% and the 38% entry level. So I started from 1, went up here to the high to 0. So this is a swing low right here. I have this circle. And if you remember, a swing low is when you look at a 3 candle series. So 1, 2, the candle that has the circle around the wick or its low, and then the candle to the right of it, candle to the left of it. So it swings, or it swings lower than the candle directly to the left of it and the candle directly to the right of it. So that 3 candle series, it swings the lowest, and you can see it clearly here. So from that swing low to these all-time highs up here that we made, I got a retracement, and as you can see, once it made these highs, we could have did this measurement and could have got into a play and had this discount level for our profit target, or one of our profit targets, because there's no guarantee it's going to get down there, right? So we could have took something at this 50% and then left the contract, or it just depends on how many contracts you get. Well, let's say hypothetically you had 2 contracts. You could sell 1 contract at the 50%, which is a beautiful move, right? And it all depends on the type of entry model you're trying to go after. So these were previously, let me just make a circle around here. These were previously all-time highs at one point, right? And so, I don't like that color. This was previously an all-time high. So one of the things that I've noticed over time is once a really significant high gets taken out, there's a high probability that there's going to be a reversal, but it has to be on the context of something key happening, right? So this was off of, we had some catalyst type variables involved, such as the interest rates, the manipulation of the Meta and Microsoft run up in after hours because of their earnings. So you can see it here. We basically took these highs out and then reversed off of it, right? So yeah, these discount levels are key, because look how it wicked into it. Look how just look what happens. Now we wouldn't have been able to get, to know that we were gonna run for these right here, just because we needed this high to measure up to. But you got 2 wicks into this. You could have took profit on either wicks. I preferably that first wick, because again, it's no guarantee that they're going to come here, and depending on how fast they go, they might miss you. And there's no point of like trying to get a couple extra cents for profit. It's not that serious. It's no point in being greedy. So that's what I'm looking at there. And then real quick before we get into some more in-depth analysis. So that level 2 here now, in the past, let's see if we can detect that level 2, right? So I like to find like swing highs that are kind of nestled in noise. And what do I mean by that? Like, for example, this, well, let me circle it first. This swing high sticks out to me off of face value. So I'm gonna, now it's not guaranteed or definitive that I'm gonna get the measurement that I want to let me know if this was gonna be the 2 level for the future. But I'm gonna try it just because the way that this swing high, it's a very subtle swing high, and it comes off the context of an aggressive move, an aggressive manipulation move up. They took out these highs right here, and then they reversed. So you get this kind of behavior where this is what's typically happening, right? These highs get taken out by this, reverse, right? These highs get taken out by this, reverse. And then this was on the context of an important, this was such a hard manipulation type move. They went and grabbed all-time highs off of that. So let's see if we can get the 2 level real quick. Let me see how much time we got. 18 minutes left. All right, so I'm gonna try that subtle swing high first and see what we can get. So that's pretty close. And look at this. We get it off of this right here. So from this subtle swing high, and I told you this, again, doing this for so long, my eyes just gravitate towards, I've practiced this so many times that I have a high probability and just high confidence in what I'm seeing. Seeing this subtle swing high within the context of it's basically nestled in noise in between these bigger moves. So I took it from here, 1, down here to 0 to this. So I took it from this subtle swing high down to this swing low. And then when the levels retrace, I get the 2 level, which is the same as the 2 level we're approaching right now. So essentially what that means is, off of the context of, like, if we were to measure that entire range, I believe the initial 1 level is right there. So we're going to see what happens. So that's key. And then look, the discount level again shows up here. What happens when we get to the discount level? A nice rejection. Look at that. We hit 627 and came all the way back down to 618, almost a $10 move. That's beautiful, right? Up here, we didn't get to this second standard deviation of a discount level, but it got close enough and rejected. And this is on the hourly. So if we go on a higher time frame, we'll probably see our entry model, most likely. Let's see what that looks like on the 4-hour. Yeah, we get our entry model. The only thing is they don't sweep the high before reversing. So that's the thing. Sometimes it may just be worth getting in off of the close and experiencing whatever drawdown is going to happen. So even though it closed here, we can get in on that close. The highs don't get swept. Let me take off this path tool right here. They it's like a double top basically, or just shy of it. But it does sweep the body of it, right? So sometimes it doesn't sweep it, and you just kind of have to, decide whether you're willing to risk whatever that drawdown is based on your entry model. So that 2 level shows up there from down there. So that lets me know this level 2 is very key because we manipulated below it, we manipulated above it, came below, and then shot back up to make all-time highs. When we took out the previous all-time high, we reversed hard, and now we're down here approaching the level 2 again. So I'm going to be watching that for sure. All right. And then let's see what happens when I measure from, let's see here. Look at that. When I measure from that same swing low that I just went to up to that 50% and 38% entry level, look at this. The first level to give us support shows up at that 2 level. So these are a lot of confluences, or a lot of more than one variable that's giving us some type of confirmation that this level is going to be a key level where even if we come down lower than here, at minimum, we're going to get some type of reversal here. And they manipulated hard previously in the past to shoot us up. So we're probably going to get a reversal here. It really depends on how they decide to do it. I personally believe that because of the rundown so hard at the end of the market, they're probably going to get a bounce from where we currently are at this close of 631. I'm expecting us to be up in aftermarket right now, and I feel like we're going to go. I feel like we can go and balance out the inefficiency or go to this 50 to 38% first before coming down to get the 2 level, and then we get a nice reversal here. So those are a couple gems of how you can use the fib retracement for its true intended purpose. All right, so let's go down here on, let's see what our time is looking like. Got 13 minutes. So let's go down here on the lower time frames to see if we can find some channels and trend lines of significance. So let's take this circle off. So immediately what I see is we're operating in this channel right here, right? If you look, this is a very, this is a, look at this sequence here. It's, right, this is a very key sequence. We're gonna go right there. We're gonna, so we got that, and then we'll do the top. Let's see how we want to do the top. Now, it may look, so when you're doing these measurements, you might see like, why are you measuring it like that, where it looks like you're measuring with candles outside of the channel? Well, the reason I'm doing that is because once the bottom gives me a cleaner measurement. So you got this manipulation on the bottom right there. Let's do a different color. So you got the manipulation on the bottom right there, and I want to make this channel as even as possible. So when you look at this, the spatial area looks like there's like equal distance, right? Versus like this going out further that way or into this one and things like that. And so the reason I do it like this is because you can see where the manipulations are, and it helps you gain context of what they might be trying to do, right? So, and then it helps me to see that we got this clear head and shoulder. Let's do this head and shoulder setup. We'll do that again. All right. Let's do this. Got our head right there. So we got our left shoulder, which is higher than our right shoulder. And so if we look at the trend line, I'm gonna take this off now. If we look at so look, you got the bigger manipulation for the head, and then you got a manipulation here on the right shoulder. And so if we pay attention to the channel, it looks like, now we're gonna check Robinhood to see where we are, but based on what this looks like, it looks like we wanna, at minimum, come down here and get support right here and then bounce back up. So let's look real quick in Robinhood what's going on. So Robinhood right now, excuse me. And would you look at that? We are down. We're below the 2 level right now. We are at 629.28. So they're taking the move already. So I'm gonna make this a different color. Let's make this red. Make it smaller. So current price at 3:14 a.m. Let's make this on the bottom though. So that red line is the current, and let's make this red so we can make it in alignment with the red line so we're not confused. So the current price now in pre-market's gonna open in like 45 minutes, but this is the current price right now. So they're actually taking the move. So if we stay around this area, I'm expecting either a gap up or an aggressive move up once pre-market opens at 4 a.m. Or we might gap down below here, pop back up to hit the 2 level, and then come down even lower. Because if that's the case, let's see here. If that's the case, then this is the liquidity area that we're going to be coming for right here. We're going to be coming for this liquidity area, which is possible because it's only $3 away right now. So basically that same area where we did a very aggressive manipulation to send us up higher, if we get below this, we're gonna go for this. I'm gonna put a alert there. Let's go back on the 10 minute. So it's so interesting. It looks so even right now, right? Look at this. On the 10 minute, it looks so even going further out. But on the 1 hour, it looked like it crisscrossed at some point. But that's not significant right now. So that's what I'm looking at currently right now. And the possibilities, I'm expecting a reversal here. And either a pop up to the top of here at 232. If we get above the top of this channel and close above it, we may come down, get support, go up and hit this 634 and then reverse. So it all depends on what we do. I'm going to be setting up a couple different parameters to see how price behaves. And then I'm going to run so what we're going to do is I'm going to run a array trend line. Let's see here. Let's see if I can capture all of these. Boom. So I got this swing low right here. I got this right here. Got this right here. So look at that. You got 3 touches already. 4. Look at this. Technically, it's more than that because of the actual individual candles in their wicks. But this is going to be a key. This is a key trend line because we're currently below that right now. We're currently down here, which is a pretty significant way below. So I'll be looking to see how the 1 hour and 4 hour behaves, because if we look right now, this is how it's interesting on the time frames. Even though we're down here and before pre-market's gonna open, we can pop right back up and be up here once market opens, because this particular candle on the hour just closed slightly below that trend line. We could pop back above it on a higher time frame. So I'll be watching all those things. If we stay below here, I'm looking for us to come up, reject off of it to get sent lower, preferably to this 626. And then I think we're going to get a really nice bounce at this 626 because it's on the cusp of this sequence of events right here that sent us up to all-time highs 2 different times. A couple different times really, but significantly this and this up here. And then it's the 626 is also on the context of this manipulation high from before and this manipulation high from before. Both of these sent us down, this sent us down, this sent us down. So I'll be looking for all of those things. This is a pretty nice setup right now, so I'll be looking to see how things will be looking. But I'm going to be paying attention to this head and shoulders to see how it pans out. I'm watching this. I'm watching this trend line because look at this. They consolidated right here, popped below the consolidation, popped back up above the consolidation, and then did this move coming down. So those are the things that I'm watching right now, and this is the key liquidity I think we're targeting next down here, because we're already below this key thing, which is, this is a pretty nice trend line going up, dating back to the 17th of July. So we're talking about like 2 weeks now. So, and weeks, the decent moves happen in, week, 2 weeks, definitely 2 weeks, monthly, on the monthly time frame. So we got some really nice things to look forward to. And so 2 minutes, that's what I'll be watching, folks. Hope you were able to get something out of this. As I told you before, we got this change of structure now because this left shoulder actually over here, we broke below that left shoulder. So now we've come down to the next structure below. We're going to be targeting this structure, which this area. Now look at how interesting that is. I did this measurement from way back when, and these 3-hour levels basically line up with the same 629 levels that we're currently at right now. Isn't that beautiful? But I appreciate y'all. I hope you get some gems. Have a great morning, even better day. And remember to support the channel. Hit up the Cash App if you're so inclined. $, MineDialogue. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit up the email if you want a free private session. MineDialogue.business@gmail.com. Have a great day on purpose. Love.